Rebel Force Radio presents...
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away...
Oh, R2! You've done it!
Merry Christmas, Star Wars fans and Rebel Force Radio listeners. We're happy to bring you the first Rebel Force Radio stocking stuffer. Of course, with me, as always, my good friend and yours, from Chicago, in your stocking right now, Jimmy Mack.
That's right, stuff your stocking with us. Hey, Jason, hey, Star Wars fans. Jimmy Mack here, and really enjoying this year's Star Wars Christmas. And we have a special treat for you on this very special show. We're going to be showcasing these amazing Star Wars Christmas moments, which have been produced exclusively for our podcast over the years, featuring such great talents from Star Wars. Guys like James Arnold Taylor, Tom Kane, heck, the entire cast of the Clone Wars will pretty much check in at one point. Of course, our good friend David Collins, so many more. It's all coming up here on Rebel Force Radio Stocking Stuffer.
So I have to ask you, as a kid, did you go for the stocking first or did you save it to last?
That was always the last thing. A lot of times I even forgot about this stocking. And, a month later I'd find some old orange that would be stuck down in the toe of the thing.
Well, I always did the stocking first. That was sort of the appetizer. So consider this your Christmas appetizer. And we're going to get out of the way and we're going to kick things off with Twas the Night Before Christmas.
'Twas the Night Before Christmas, read by Obi-Wan Kenobi and friend. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the place, not a Jedi was stirring, why not even Mace. Lightsabers were hung in the temple with care, in hopes that St. Yoda Claus soon would be there. The Jedi were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of peacekeeping danced in their heads. Anakin in his cloak and I in my hood had just settled in after fighting for good, when out in the hallway there arose such a clatter. Well, I sprang for my quarters to see what's the matter. Away to the corridor I flew with a flash, zipped open the blast door and threw up the sash, when what to my wondering eye should appear but a little green man with a cane and no fear. Indeed, yes, a Jedi, the master named Yoda. I thought what to offer, perhaps a cold soda? He went to the chambers where Jedi do counsel, and shouted a roll call that seemed to announce all.
Plo Koon now, Shakti now, Adigalia now Mundi, Skywalker come, Tano come, bring with you Kenobi, to the ends of the galaxy, the universe all, fight evil the Emperor, indeed he must fall.
He walked with a limp, though I think it in jest, for the Force was quite strong with him, Count Dooku to test. With a snicker he laughed, and his eyes they did twinkle. For 800 years old he had barely a wrinkle. His voice was like gravel,
yes,
and his talk was, confusing. From backwards to forwards was the ways of his musing. He was dressed in a robe from his head to his toes, and to say he was little would understate it, I suppose.
Judge me not by my size.
No one would dare, for that could be dangerous if your life you did care. For in him was wisdom, valor, and honor, a force to be reckoned with. In a fight, you're a goner. But gentle he was, yes, he showed us the way, to use the Force rightly and never to stray.
Patience you must have.
He told us quite often.
Trust the Force, you will, yes.
And keep an eye on that Tarkin. He spoke many words, then went straight to work, filling all of our stockings, even Quinlan's, that jerk, supplying each one with a Christmas Eve dream and stuffing them full till they burst at the seam, and laying his finger aside of his nose, then giving a nod with the Force, he did rose. He winked and he shouted as he turned out the light.
May the Force be with you, and to all, a good night.
Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays from the Jedi Council.
Rebel Force Radio.
Merry Christmas to everybody. Have a great holiday season, and may the Force be with you in 2014.
When I was a young child, younger than you or me, I went into the toy store, sat on Santa's knee. He asked me what toys I want, Dinky toys or Ted's. I gazed into his big brown eyes, and this is what I said. I want Christmas, playing with plastic tauntauns. Christmas in my Millennium Falcon. Falcon, watching the repeats of Star Wars, playing with my plastic figures. Christmas, a long time ago in a galaxy far away. Later on at Christmas Eve, I went up to my bed. No matter how much I tried, I couldn't rest my head. Thinking of the toys I'd waited for so long to get. A Princess Leia, a Chewbacca, and a Boba Fett. It was Christmas, playing with plastic tauntauns. Christmas, in my Millennium Falcon, watching the repeats of Star Wars, playing with my plastic figures. Christmas, a long time ago in a galaxy far away. The very next morning, underneath the tree, a great big shining parcel waiting there for me. I opened it and there was, to my delight, my own Millennium Falcon, ready for a maiden flight. I spent Christmas playing with plastic tauntauns. Christmas in my Millennium Falcon, watching the repeats of Star Wars, playing with my plastic figures. Christmas, a long time ago in a galaxy far away. Christmas, playing with plastic tauntauns. Christmas in my Millennium Falcon. Christmas, playing with plastic tauntauns. Christmas in my Millennium Falcon.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Dr. Seuss. Read by Obi-Wan Kenobi and friends. Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot, but the Grinch who lived just north of Whoville did not. The Grinch hated Christmas the whole Christmas season. Now please don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason. It could be that his head wasn't screwed on quite right. It could be perhaps that his shoes were too tight. But I think that the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small. But whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve hating the Whos, staring down from his cave with a sour, grinchy frown at the warm lighted windows below in their town. For he knew every Who down in Whoville beneath was busy now hanging a mistletoe wreath.
And they're hanging their stockings,
he snarled with a sneer.
Tomorrow is Christmas. It's practically here.
Then he growled with his Grinch fingers nervously drumming.
I must find a way to keep Christmas from coming.
For tomorrow he knew. All the Who girls and boys would wake up bright and early. They'd rush for their toys. And then, oh, the noise. Oh, the noise, 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 noise. That's one thing he hated besides flying. The noise, 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 Anakin! Then the Whos, young and old, would sit down to a feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast, 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 feast! They would start on Who pudding and rare Who roast beef, which was something the Grinch couldn't stand in the least. And then they'd do something he liked least of all. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, would stand close together with Christmas bells ringing. They'd stand hand in hand, and the Whos would start singing. They'd sing, and they'd sing, and they'd sing, 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 sing. Oh, sorry. And the more the Grinch thought of the Who Christmas sing, the more the Grinch thought,
I must stop this whole thing. Why, for 53 years I've put up with it now. I must stop Christmas from coming. But how?
Then he got an idea. An awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea. and I have a bad feeling about this.
I know just what to do.
The Grinch laughed in his throat, and he made a quick Santa Claus hat and a coat, and he chuckled and clucked.
What a great Grinchy trick. With this coat and this hat, I look just like Saint Nick. All I need is a reindeer.
The Grinch looked around, but since reindeer are scarce, there was none to be found. Did that stop the old Grinch? No. The Grinch simply said,
If I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead.
So he called his dog Max. Then he took some red thread, and he tied a big horn on the top of his head. Then he loaded some bags and some old empty sacks on a ramshackle sleigh, and he hitched up old Max. Then the Grinch said,
Giddy up!
And the sleigh started down toward the homes where the Whos lay a snooze in their town. All the windows were dark. Quiet snow filled the air. All the Whos were all dreaming sweet dreams without care. When he came to the first house in the square,
This is stop number 1.
the old Grinchy Claus hissed, and he climbed to the roof, empty bags in his fist. Then he slid down the chimney a rather tight pinch, but if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch. He got stuck only once for a moment or two. Then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue, where the little Who stockings all hung in a row.
These stockings,
He grinned.
are the first things to go.
Then he slithered and slunk with a smile most unpleasant round the whole room, and he took every present. Popguns and bicycles, lightsabers, drums, checkerboards, tricycles, popcorn and plums. And he stuffed them in bags. Then the Grinch very nimbly stuffed all of the bags, one by one, up the chimney. Then he slunk to the icebox. He took the Who's feast. He took the Who pudding. He took the roast beef. He cleaned out that icebox as quick as a flash. Why, that Grinch even took their last can of Who hash. Then he stuffed all the food up the chimney with glee.
And now,
Grinned the Grinch.
I will stuff up the tree.
And the Grinch grabbed the tree and he started to shove when he heard a small sound like the coo of a dove. He turned round fast and he saw a small Who. Little Zero Loo who was not more than 2. The Grinch had been caught by this little hut squatter who'd gotten out of bed for a cold cup of water. He stared at the Grinch and said,
Santa Claus, why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why?
But you know, that old Grinch was so smart and so slick, he thought of a lie and he thought it up quick.
Why, my sweet little tot.
The fake Santa Claus lied.
There's a light on this tree that won't light on one side. So I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there, then I'll bring it back here.
And his fib fooled the child. Then he patted his head, and he got him a drink and sent him to bed. And when Zero Loo Who went to bed with his cup, he went to the chimney, and he stuffed the tree up. Then the last thing he took was the log for the fire. Then he went up the chimney himself, the old liar. On the walls he left nothing but hooks and some wire. And the one speck of food that he left in the house was a crumb that was even too small for a mouse. Then he did the same thing to the other Who's houses, leaving crumbs much too small for the other Who's mouses. 'Twas 15:15 dawn, all the Who's still abed, all the Who's still a snooze when he packed up his sled. Packed it up with their presents, the ribbons, the wrappings, the tags and the tinsels, the trimmings, the trappings. 3,000 feet up the side of Mount Crumpet, he rode to the tip-top to dump it.
Pooh-pooh to the Who's.
He was Grinchiously humming.
They're finding out now that no Christmas is coming. They're just waking up. I know just what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open a minute or two. Then all the Who's down in Whoville will all cry, boo-hoo. That's a noise,
Grinned the Grinch.
that I simply must hear.
So he paused, and the Grinch put a hand to his ear, and he did hear a sound rising over the snow. It started in low, then it started to grow. But the sound wasn't sad. Why, this sounded merry. It couldn't be so, but it was merry. Very! He stared down at Whoville. The Grinch popped his eyes. Then he shook. What he saw was a shocking surprise. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came, somehow or another. It came just the same. And the Grinch, with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling.
How could it be so? It came without ribbons. It came without tags. It came without packages, boxes, or bags.
And he puzzled 3 hours, till his puzzle was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before.
Maybe Christmas,
he thought,
doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more.
And what happened then? Well, in Whoville they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And the minute his heart didn't quite feel so tight, he whizzed with his load through the bright morning light, and he brought back the toys and the food for the feast. And he himself, the Grinch, carved the roast beef. May the force be with you. Always. The end.
This is artist Denise Vasquez, and you're listening to my song Holiday Spirit. Merry Christmas and Feliz Navidad.
May the force be with you this Christmas and always.
Where is Anakin? It seems he is always late when he meets with Senator Amidala. Well, Master Yoda, perhaps we should find a seat.
Yes, Obi-Wan. Seats near the front, I can see.
Wonderful.
What know of you of tonight's performer?
His name is Randy Martinez, and he is from the Rando system. He is here tonight for a special Christmas performance.
Good, I hope he is. Missing Dancing with the Stars, I am.
Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Bearded Wampa Lounge. We have a great show for you tonight, celebrating all the holidays this season. I see a few Wookiees back there still hungover from the Life Day bash we had last week. So glad to see you guys back here. Was that? Yeah, I know. To you too. So you ready to get this show on the road? All right. Tonight's first performer is a new rock star on the scene and comes to you all the way from the planet Rando. Let's give it up for Randy Martinez. Check, son. Hey, everybody, thank you so much for coming. Really, seriously. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. Wow. I'll sing a special song here for Christmas about a really true and dear friend of mine. At least it meant a lot to me growing up. This is called I Want Yoda. Well, it was Christmas when I was just 5 years old. My mama told me that you better do what you're told. 'Cause you know Santa, he always finds a way. If you're good like you should, well then maybe he'll bring you something today. So I told her like this, I said, hey mama, there's just one thing that I need. I've been a good boy all year long, I've done the things that I'm told. So won't you tell Santa please, man, I want Yoda. For Christmas this year I want Yoda. No, not the action figure Yoda. I mean a real freaking Yoda. Yeah, mama, I need Yoda. For Christmas this year I want Yoda. No, not the action figure Yoda. I mean a real freaking Yoda. Yeah. Hey. Woo. See, if I had Yoda, well, I can learn from the source how to do laundry by using only the Force. Ooh, to be a Jedi, oh mama, that is my wish. He could help me with my homework, well, maybe not my English. So let me tell you, mama, well, this is all that I need. He can clean my room with just a wave of his hand. He's practical and he's clean. Well, I want Yoda. For Christmas this year I want Yoda. No, not the action figure Yoda. I mean a real freaking Yoda. Yeah, mama, I need Yoda. For Christmas this year I want Yoda. No, not the action figure Yoda. I mean a real freaking Yoda. Yeah, Yoda. He
pagoda, and he hits like Manny Moda. I mean the real freaking Yoda.
Mr. Obi-Wan, move we should. Uncomfortable, I am feeling.
All right, everyone, this is for the fans, so we're feeling
Understood, sir.
on the first day of Christmas. The Clone Wars gave to me, Anakin,
a Padawan named Ahsoka to train.
You're stuck with me, Sky Guy.
On the second day of Christmas, the Clone Wars gave to me, Ahsoka,
2 trusty droids.
And a Padawan named Ahsoka to train.
Goodness gracious me.
On the third day of Christmas, the Clone Wars gave to me, Count,
Dooku's henchmen.
2 trusty droids.
And a Padawan named Ahsoka to train.
That's the spirit, Anakin. On the fourth day of Christmas, the Clone Wars gave to me, Obi-Wan and Plo,
Dooku's henchmen.
2 trusty droids.
And a Padawan named Ahsoka to train.
Now we're getting somewhere. On the fifth day of Christmas, the Clone Wars gave to me, what? 5 and his team. Of course! Obi-Wan and Plo,
Dooku's henchmen.
2 trusty droids.
And a Padawan named Ahsoka to
This is
train.
where the fun begins.
Now on the sixth day of Christmas, the Clone Wars unfortunately gave to me,
General Grievous Slave.
5 and his team. Obi-Wan and Plo,
Dooku's henchmen.
2 trusty droids.
And a Padawan named Ahsoka to train.
Now on the seventh day of Christmas, the Clone Wars gave to me, take it, Mace,
Lightsaber swinging.
General Grievous Slave.
5 and his team. Obi-Wan and Plo,
Dooku's henchmen.
2 trusty droids.
And a Padawan named Ahsoka to train.
It was a dark day on the eighth day of Christmas when the Clone Wars gave to me,
Darth Maul amending.
We're doomed.
Lightsaber swinging.
General Grievous Slave.
5 and his team. Obi-Wan and Plo,
Dooku's henchmen.
2 trusty droids.
And a Padawan named Ahsoka to train.
But the ninth day of Christmas, well, the Clone Wars gave to me,
Size noodles singing.
Darth Maul amending.
Lightsaber swinging.
General Grievous Slave.
5 and his team. Obi-Wan and Plo,
Dooku's henchmen.
2 trusty droids.
And a Padawan named Ahsoka to train.
on the 10th day of Christmas, the Clone Wars gave to me,
Senator.
Padme's secret mission. Size noodles singing.
Darth Maul amending.
This is mad.
Lightsaber swinging.
General Grievous Slave.
5 and his team, Obi-Wan and Plo,
Dooku's henchmen.
2 trusty droids.
And a Padawan named Ahsoka to train.
On the 11th day of Christmas, the Clone Wars gave to me, Palpatine plotting.
Padme's secret mission. Size noodles singing.
Darth Maul amending.
Lightsaber swinging.
General Grievous Slave.
5 and his team, Obi-Wan and Plo,
Dooku's henchmen.
2 trusty droids.
And a Padawan named Ahsoka to train.
Alright, here it is, the big finish on the 12th day of Christmas. The Clone Wars gave to me, Master Yoda.
Force strong within you.
Palpatine plotting.
Padme's secret mission. Size noodles singing.
Darth Maul amending.
Lightsaber swinging.
General Grievous Slave.
5 and his team, Obi-Wan and Plo,
Dooku's henchmen.
2 trusty droids.
and a Padawan named Ahsoka to train.
told you we'd outmaneuver them. Now we just lay low and hold tight. Well, flying into an Imperial blockade is not what I had in mind. Look, I don't like sitting here either, but we'll make it in time. I know. Life Day is a special Wookiee holiday. Right. Holiday, special, I get it. Let's run a lightspeed diagnostic so we're ready. Chewie, cycle the navicomputer. Hey, turn that off. Well, how am I supposed to prep the ship with all that racket? Chewie, stop messing around. We gotta do a systems check, and I can't think with all that Life Day noise on the holo feed. Enough. Oh, come on, don't be that way. I'm sorry. I know you miss your family. Yeah, I know, pal. What's that? No. No, I will not sing to you again. It's embarrassing. No. No. All right. But this is the last time. And you better not tell anyone about this. All right. Here we go. Banthas roasting on an open fire. All right, okay, I'll sing. Rocher trees lit up with cheer. Life Day carols being sung by a choir, and folks are wearing bright red bandoliers. That's what they wear, right? Everybody hears in basic and in Sherrywook tales of rebel victories. You and me. Wookiee cubs sit and eagerly look to find us through the canopy of trees. They know Chewbacca's on his way. He smuggled toys inside the Falcon's cargo bay. And every cancer wing is gonna buzz when down the chimney comes a great ball of fuzz. That's you, pal. And so I'm offering this simple phrase for my pal Chewie and for all that we've been through. We've been through a lot together, pal. And though it's been said many times, many ways, Happy Life Day. Your turn, Chewie. Sing it. Nice. Happy Life Day to you. Happy Life Day, pal. All right, okay. Enough. Let's prepare for lightspeed and get out of here.
Well, we hope you enjoyed Rebel Force Radio's Stocking Stuffer and that you're having a very, very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to all of you. For Rebel Force Radio, Merry Christmas. I'm Jason.
I'm Jimmy Mack.
And remember,
Merry Christmas, everyone.